It's time for the wheat to go in the ground, but a lot of Oklahoma producers are finding there's some concerns cropping up across the state. We caught up with Noble County Extension educator Chad Webb to find out how things are looking in his county heading into wheat planting.
We're looking for next year. Next year cannot get here soon enough right now. The price of wheat and the price of grains is encouraging, but until we get a good crop, it's not done a lot of good. So we are waiting for the next year to try to potentially help alleviate some issues that we've had in the last couple of years financially.
And this year, a new pest has hopped into the picture: grasshoppers.
Well, they're eating everything that the grasshoppers can get a hold of. Everybody's scared to plant their wheat. It's in their pastures, it's in their corn, and the grasshoppers are eating several of their crops.
Extension entomologist Tom Royer explains why grasshoppers are so damaging right now.
They'll be laying eggs through the fall, probably into the middle, towards the middle of October. But during that time, while they're laying eggs, they're also feeding themselves and continuing to eat. So, and they're as big as they're ever going to get right now. So this is when they can consume the most plant tissue that they'll ever consume in their lives.
The dry year has slowed fungi and diseases, which normally hold down the grasshopper population, which has set Oklahoma up for this year's spotted but heavy outbreak.
I have been in places where I start walking around and they just hop everywhere. I've been to other locations in the state where you don't find that many. So it's really dependent upon where those fields are located, and that's why I really encourage producers to walk around and see what kind of numbers they have before they plant, so that they can at least make some plans to deal with them.
Royer told us that 30 to 50 pounds worth of grasshoppers can consume as much forage in a day as a 600-pound steer. There are a number of options available for grasshopper control, including insecticides and the use of treated seed.
You can also plant like kind of double thick around the edges of a field that will hopefully hold those grasshoppers there and eat instead of having them spread out in the field a little bit.
Grasshoppers may like the hot weather, but it makes it hard for wheat seeds to get a good start. So I turned to Extension Area Agronomist for the northwest part of the state, Roger Gribble, to learn more. The soil temperature is kind of warm right now, and what should producers be thinking about?
Well, as we entered the middle to the end of August, actually our soil temperatures on an average day, and we're taking 3 days, would be somewhere around 82 to 85. Well, here we are at the first couple of days of September. We're hitting temperatures over 100 degrees, and it's not uncommon if we put a soil probe in here with a temperature gauge on it that will be close to 100 degrees. In that scenario, producers need to watch depth of planting, and they also need to watch the variety they plant for germination sensitivity. Depth of planting, because coleoptile length shortens in hot soil conditions, and germination sensitivity in that varieties don't germinate well when we're in temperatures over 100 degrees. Select those varieties that will germinate well when we get in this type of condition.
What kind of varieties are you suggesting for this kind of condition?
Well, the best part about it, some of the OSU varieties are really good on germination sensitivity. The Dusters, Endurance, all those type varieties really perform well. They get out of the ground and get going, so the temperature's not necessarily that important. However, when we talk about coleoptile length, we know that under hot soil conditions we shorten up, and we don't need to plant those varieties more than 1.5 inches.
Wow.
The problem is there may not be moisture in 1.5 inches, but the conditions that we're planting into, we're going to have to wait on a rain so moisture meets the seed.
Okay. Are there things that producers need to be thinking about if they're going to graze out their wheat versus if they're not?
Okay, if we're going to graze out, a couple of things that we have found at the Marshall Research Station, the key thing is increased seeding rates. If you're going for forage production and that's your key, then somewhere between, above 90, maybe even up to 120 pounds of seed per acre produces the most forage in a early planting window. One thing that you have to remember, 2 varieties, Jackpot and Duster, you don't want to go over 90 pounds because they just produce a ton of tillers, and as a result you may cause lodging or actually even put it into a drought. So the 2 that we watch are Duster and Jackpot in that.
Okay. Well, and you can find out more information on that on our website, sunup.okstate.edu.